Hi everyone, so this video is about a murder that has taken place in Zambia. It's a live stream by Simon Mwewa that shows how the suspect was found in the drainage. Watch this live stream and comment in the comment section below. Heartbreaking.
abakutumishanga namutumisha kodwa bamuvi babwe tamba
Hey, good morning. How are you? Good. In the area. Is that the stench? Yeah. Who are you?
Hey.
Who are you?
We are police officers.
Oh, okay. Sorry, sir. I didn't recognize your gun. We live in the area. Yes. So we just wanted to know what's going on.
There's another case, but you are not allowed to film anything.
We're not allowed to film anything?
No.
Okay.
Another case.
Ngabo.
We don't allow people to see.
Okay.
What you do is you only allow journalists, but even journalists, they must seek our permission.
Okay.
We are police officers, we are under woodland.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we have just come to secure the scene.
Okay.
So that we make sure that the scene is not contaminated.
Yes, sir.
Then we are organizing with our colleagues.
Yes, sir.
Soon they will be here
So
that we see how the police will move.
Yes, sir.
If anything, maybe automatic will be done on side.
Yes, sir.
Then from where the police will follow the police. Yeah, that's what the speculation says, but we are not yet confirmed. Yes, so that's what.
No, we understand, sir.
Yes.
We're just residents in the area, so
Okay.
naturally when something like this happens,
Yes.
we want to know what's going on.
That is good.
But I understand the suspect is in custody?
Yes, that's what I'm told. Yeah.
Okay.
So this thing happened somewhere. That's why this person just dumped the body.
When did he dump the body?
We are yet to. I'm the deputy CIO.
Uh-huh.
I've just been called as well.
Yes, sir.
I think we almost arrived at the same time.
Yes, sir.
So I'm told the officer in charge is here. So I just want to see where the body is and then the other things will fall.
Okay.
So in short, everything is under control.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we
Who's that in the drainage there? There's someone in the drainage there. Who's sitting in there?
Oh yeah. I think maybe this would be the very suspect.
That's the suspect, and that sack is the body of the person. Because I can smell a very strong stench. All right, Facebook, we are on, we're in the Salama Park area. This is near 4th Street. And as many of you know, there's a murder case here. Apparently, according to the officer, that gentleman sitting in the drainage there with the red cap is the suspect.
Oh yeah.
That's the suspect?
That's the thing. But please don't get photos.
No, I won't photograph. But I am live. I have to tell you that.
Yeah, you are live.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is because what is there is no such issues. This can only be done through our PRO office. That
Yes,
is
sir.
Our public relations office.
Yes, sir.
Yes. This will be. Of course, it will be on the television.
Yes.
We have got our crew members. They are coming.
Uh-huh.
I told the scene crime officers they are on the way.
Okay.
They are coming. This guy. So in short, what the information I'm receiving is that this one is the suspect. And that thing you are seeing there in sack. Those are body parts of a person, human being.
So that sack next to that young man
Yes.
contains the body parts of the deceased.
Yes.
Is that the stench we're smelling? There's a strong stench, a strong smell. Is it emanating from that? Yes.
So thank you so much. So
Thank you, sir.
What you do is just avoid the camera.
Yes, sir.
Going outside.
Yes, sir. I understand. Yes, sir. All right, Facebook. So the in the pink was telling me that the young man sitting in the drainage system there, in the open drainage system, I'm not sure if you can see it. He's got a red sort of hoodie on. He's sitting right next to a sack. And that sack, believe it or not, contains body parts of a young girl, a young woman. And the police are waiting for their colleagues to show up to, I'm assuming, to take the suspect and the body. All right. Hi, how are you? Thank you. So we've been asked to stay away from the scene. Again, if you can see in the distance there, there's an officer, a police officer in pink who's just climbed out of the open drainage system. And in that drainage system, there's a young man sitting there with a red hoodie. He is the suspect. Okay, the police are getting a bit antsy. They don't really want people to photograph and to take pictures. But I can tell you, based on what the officer told me, that young man sitting in that drainage system there with the red hoodie. You see the gentleman, the officer now stepping in with the pink shirt there in the distance there. The young man sitting in the drainage system is the suspect with the red hoodie. He's sitting next to a sack full of body parts. Now I have to tell you, there's a very strong stench in the air, and I'm assuming it's the decomposed or decomposing body of the deceased. And you got people watching. I'm not sure can I zoom in live? Am I able to zoom in live? I don't think so. Oh yes, you can. Well, there you go. I didn't know that you could zoom in live. So there it is. Thanks for... You see the young man there? There's a young man there. And guys, thank you very much for that suggestion. I didn't know you could zoom in live. So the young man there with the hoodie, that is the murder suspect. The officer there in the pink shirt, that's the police officer. And next to the young man is a sack, a light green sack, full of body parts. And according to what the police officer said, the young man murdered the girl and cut her up and stuffed her body in a light green sack, and then proceeded to stuff it under this drainage, along this drainage system here. All right, so the police are really asking people to sort of move away. So that's the young man there. The young man in the red hoodie. The police are here. Okay, now I'm assuming the police are here to pick up the body. The police are here to pick up the body and the murder suspect. This is the Salama Park area near 4th Street. Nightmare on 4th Street. Oh, dear. Sir? Okay. All right, so I'm just going to zoom out real quick just so that you have a clear picture of what we're looking at. Let me zoom in again real quick. You see the young man there in the hoodie? The young man in the red hoodie, he is the murder suspect, and he's sitting in the drainage system. The man in the pink shirt is a police officer, and the young man in the drainage system is sitting next to a light green sack that is stuffed with the body parts of his girlfriend, according to the information that the police have given me. They've told me. I was talking to the officer earlier. The officer in the drainage system there, in the pink shirt there. Sorry, sir. The officer there in the pink shirt is, I'm assuming, is getting a statement from the suspect who's sitting in the drainage system with a red hoodie pulled over his head. That's the officer now climbing out of, and with the suspect. That's the suspect there. That is the suspect. That's the suspect walking over to the. They have cuffed him. I'm assuming. That's the young man, the suspect in the red hoodie. I'm assuming he's being cuffed or uncuffed by the police officers. I can see there now, he's cuffed. He's cuffed. He's cuffed. Handcuffs have been placed on his wrists. That is the suspect. That is the suspect there in red, in the red hoodie, handcuffed, standing next to the police officer with the mask. That's the young man there. That is the young suspect there. Now, it's important to note also that, if I can show you here, the green sack, that is the green sack full of body parts of the deceased. The young lady that was murdered, allegedly by this young man in the red hoodie, according to what the police officers have said, he murdered the girl, his girlfriend, and then chopped her up and stuffed her body parts in that green sack that you're looking at right now. And I'm not sure what's happening now. I imagine the forensics people are here. I imagine that. I don't know. I haven't seen anyone that says they're from the forensics department. I'm just assuming. The police have taped the area off. They've tapered it off completely. So if you're coming down the street in the Salama Park area near 4th Street, right now you won't be able to drive through, because now this officially, ladies and gentlemen, is a crime scene. Again, for those of you that have just joined us, the young man standing there in the red hoodie is the murder suspect. He's been cuffed. He's wearing a red type of jacket, red hoodie with brown slacks, and standing right next to the police officer. Right next, and I must tell you, there is a very strong foul smell in the air. There's a little dog here. There's a very, very strong stench in the air. It smells of a decomposing body. I'm assuming. It's safe to assume that. So let me just zoom out so that you have a clear perspective. Okay. And then most of these people are people that are either on their way to work or people that live in the area. Of course, when they heard about this, of course, everybody came out, and everybody's curious to know, what is happening here, what's going on here. Mongalonga
chifulu kutufula kwatina makuma oda eta chilo
Bati mwafuma kwe?
kuma oda na tumakuma oda panta fa tufika ka file fintu mamona
so imu machumfa kwe?
ina tumfira ni spray ko kati odela ko airport tano fukuti so tulaisa kusala melo asatu bati na mwikala papa mletu shaka vyani kama nenu na bamukoma ola na bamwika mwisa sasa twatisa isi.
Okay. Bachisa ni stanch pa?
Twatisa nomba ni bati 8 minutes yakwa.
Okay. Okay. How na chibi?
Aho tachiwe menombo uyu muntu yepa kama muntu aleko kukai. Kumukobeko yutate na muchabala mbokula tutinyala muntu aitana.
Kumutwala kwe?
Kumukobeko.
Kabili kwali ba procedure mami. Ifi Bamukaka akaya kukoti. Kukoti ngabayishi bamona ati chine ewa mwipe. Ero baka mutwala kule. Ushakwala umuntu wa mwikata hapo wa mutwala kukube. Takuwa? Kumukaka first. Ero baya mchita process ku. Ba mutwala kukoti. Kula kukoti ngafyapwa. Ero baya mutwala okumulela ndo. Yes. Mukwae.
Tachafume tsaka chimone. Leko kumole tsaka chira.
Kapena wachi buru. Kapena wachi bimbe wachi tuzibe.
Now if you back pocketed but still. Now tete besu lati seni mtambe. Takuwa?
Okay. Soma namba kaitu ishile mkumona timpuluru wesi.
Barangu isila kusosi.
Kaya abe nafe bachita.
Metamuona kuchabe.
Mufuna kumuona?
Kesi kabani mpuluru kairi. Mwaiona kamera zando shika bwanji malira mesiali yao malira. Safunika tamuona tamuona chambalo watilangisa kolo mutu kapala mutu wa mapise. At least mutu jenga oneka stiko tamuona ini.
Nomba mulefu abamilango mutwe. Nomba ushakwali becho mami. Kwali bati yo iseni mumone mutwe.
Bamfunya
Wanamwiko dala msaka, swanga mchosi, kaili wanafoko dala msaka, soro kutoa swanga chosi.
Anasa kukatia kuoneka kwa pamesa, leo tena tukigeko. Bene masakira.
Landa pusi.
Kambao.
Mwana ndabo cha mtabu
The first time.
So, Facebook, of course, you've heard our people here are saying they would like to see who that is in the sack. They're concerned that it could be one of their friends or relatives. They want to be able to see who the deceased is. But of course, that's not the way to do it. I mean, the police have a procedure. This isn't a museum. The police have a procedure. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're reporting from the Salama Park area, and I know some of you Facebook. Why? Well, I'm here, so I'm just giving you what I'm seeing. Okay. Once again, let me zoom in. Again, let me show you the green sack that is in that drainage system there is stuffed full of body parts. The body parts of the deceased young lady that was apparently, allegedly murdered by the young man standing in front of the police officer that's wearing a black, this police officer here, the young man standing in front of him, not the young man in the red t-shirt, the man with the red t-shirt and the mask is not the suspect. The suspect is the one between the officer in uniform and the man in the red top. The gentleman standing between them is the suspect. And again, most of our people in this area, in the Salama Park area, these are people that were either on their way to work this morning or they live in the area and they heard about a body being dumped in the drainage system, and so they came out to see and hear what the ruckus was all about. Nomba na mulaba COVID social distancing tapadi hapa mule talukana mwatalukana na mask mwafuala nomba mask yenu imona mulaba mask yenu nga mulabire ku
tebanga munganda fati byo pomba pakulala pala penene ne kula
mwalaba mwilala ba COVID
hawo twali umwefunde bali tweba
mwilala ba
bali twebe funde kati zabula sipindi hapo nalipata ne bali ai ni shuwa kwacha abana kashanga kwacha umwana kashanga yega abana kashanga
Ende na bandani mamufunze sanga akaunti yako basi katumika.
Alanda pia atipenda.
Akapende
ndani. Atisheshani?
Sanga kwani seka katumika.
Uyu aoneka lenze bampiri boss.
Bampiri akamekela zake nene nabo.
To tetemye saka ile.
Tetemye saka yeka ile kula. Nani alina uja mamuni. Napokaila nini? Asaka. Aulule.
Endi kwa mena ngani kutani kwa tala atenge mtu saka yote toka na kwa fixa sanga kwani zeka akamejera ndani.
That makes sense. That makes sense. They're saying that the young man could not have possibly carried the sack on his own, that he was assisted. And of course the police and the police procedure will determine all of that. But that makes sense from a logical point of view. I agree with these ladies. That makes perfect sense. But then again, the police will do their job and they will ascertain, they will determine exactly what happened here. Murder in Salama. Facebook. Do I say about Facebook? One of you says, "Sir, from there, just go straight and swim in the Musambe Mu, which the swimming sanitizer, Pantapari, observe social distancing." Oh, Facebook. Well, you guys kill me. This is not a time to laugh. This is a very sad, sober, sombering moment for the residents of Salama. We have been beset with horrible news this morning that a body, a female, has been dumped in the open drainage system, and the suspect is in custody. And let me just zoom in so that you see the suspect. There's the suspect with the handcuffs. That's him. The young man with the red top with the handcuffs, that is the young man. That is the suspect there. That's the suspect right there. That's him. By Facebook, what they mean about party, we to maintain social distancing. Baby.
Bafunika je guys ati ma distance yafunika so apatie tibendelana ina nguku kwani midao.
Nombata mule talukani. Bantu abapa Facebook abala misoka. Abapa Facebook bachabe bebe ni achani.
Na chabe bati ni sani distance 1 meter above 1 meter distance. Corona na is a distance. Every tambo muntu na babati ko chingiriza na.
Chingiriza. Okay. That's just a cough, folks. Okay? That's a normal cough. Because I know you Facebook people. If you wakola Mwewa. Wakola. Na tukumfu. Na ukola. Salama Park is in the Chelston Green area. If you're familiar with Chelston Green, Salama Park, this area used to be agriflora. For those of you that are familiar with this area, this used to be agriflora. Okay. Now, the suspect has been taken to the here I was busy talking to this crowd behind me, and I missed the part where the suspect was being led from this scene here to the car, to the police car. Again, let me show you, for those of you that have just joined us, the green sack that is in the drainage system. Let me just zoom in. Very sad news today in Salama Park. The sack that you are looking at there, the light green sack, contains the decomposed, dismembered body of a young girl that was murdered by, according to the police, a self-confessed killer. They have the suspect in custody, according to the police. They have the suspect in custody. And it's a great thing to have a suspect, because now let me tell you, had we not had a suspect, if the residents of Salama Park woke up and they discovered a decomposed, chopped up body in their neighborhood, this whole area would have just been caught in a net of fear, you know. Because, you know, people take walks in this area in the evening, they exercise. So if all of a sudden you wake up and you hear that there's a murder, and the deceased was chopped up, stuffed in a sack, and thrown in an open drainage system, nobody would leave the house until the issue is closed. But thankfully, the police have a suspect in custody. And of course the system will determine, the evidence will determine exactly what this is. All we know right now is that a young man has confessed to the police that he killed his girlfriend, chopped her up into pieces, dismembered her. I mean, this is stuff you hear and watch on television. You know, this is the saddest thing. Chopped her up, stuffed her in a light green sack, and dumped the sack in the open drainage system. And that sack you're looking at right there, that is the sack that contains the dismembered body parts of the deceased young girl that the man in custody claims to be his girlfriend. He has told, according to what the police officer was saying to me earlier, that the young man confessed that that was his girlfriend and he killed her. We don't know what the motive was. We don't know what sparked that off. All we can do at this point is speculate. And I don't want to start speculating here because I don't know anything. I don't know the facts. I don't know why he would do what he did. No idea. So I have no idea. So that's the sack right there. All right, the police car is starting off now. The blue police vehicle is starting off, and the suspect, I'm assuming, is in that vehicle. The suspect is in that vehicle, and the police are about to start off and take him to what I'm assuming is the police station to process him. Once again, for those of you that are just joining us now, we're in the Salama Park area. Early this morning, news spread through the neighborhood that there was a decomposed body in a sack that was dumped in an open drainage system. The suspect has been caught, is in custody, and there's a police officer, and they've driven off with the suspect. I can confirm that. They've driven off with the suspect. But the body is still in the drainage system. Let me show you again. The decomposed, dismembered body is still in the drainage system, and it's in that green, light green sack that you can see right there. And I must tell you that there's a very strong, foul stench in the air. Very, very strong, foul smell in the air. Which I think is strange, because if this body was dumped, well, the story is that it was dumped on Monday. That's the information we got. That's the information I have, according to one of the officers I spoke to. That it was dumped on Monday. But I find it strange and curious that a sack could be left like that without anyone being curious and trying to find out what it is. Usually, this is a very, lots of people walk through here to get to work. I would imagine somebody would stop and find out, what is this? What is it? Yeah. Well, Lots of people curious, wanting to know what really happened here. Someone has just asked, anybody know the girl's name? No, we don't have any of that information. So Kathy has just asked, how do you know it's a young lady in there? Well, the police officer told me that. The police officer said to me that the sack contains body parts of a deceased young girl, dismembered body parts of a deceased young girl. And according to the police officer, the suspect in custody confessed to killing and dismembering this young girl and came and dumped her body, stuffed her body in a green sack and dumped her in this open drainage system. That is the story so far. That is the only information we have. Nothing beyond that. Ezra and Mwape, what is the name of the deceased? We don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows the name of the deceased. Well, at least I don't. I don't. Maybe the police know, but I certainly don't. Imelda Train. No, you don't have to see my face. That's not important. What's important is the story, not SML. Ruth Mwanza, this is unbelievable. I agree with you. And again, folks, let me reiterate, let me say what I said earlier. Had the residents of the Salama Park area, had they woken up to this devastating news that a young body had been discovered, the body of a female had been discovered, dismembered and stuffed in a sack, had they woken up to that news without information, without a suspect, this whole area would have been gripped in fear. Because, you know, lots of people walk through here, they jog through here at night, you know. People would have been scared to leave their homes. You know, they'll think there's a murderer out there who's trying to kill us. But the great thing is, the good news is, of course, it's very sad that we have a young lady that has been brutally killed in this fashion. But the good news is we do have a suspect. And the knowledge that a suspect is in custody allays the fears or puts to rest the fears of a whole community. That helps. I mean, that information helps. It really does. All right, Facebook, you guys are going to get upset with me, but my battery's flat. Oh, great. Sorry guys, I have to sign off.
After this live stream, police have issued a statement that a 32-year-old man killed a 16-year-old girl and stuffed her body in a sack. The parents of the girl had reported her missing on Sunday, and today being a Wednesday, meaning she has been dead for some time. Police spokesperson revealed that the body was found in a decomposed state and a post-mortem will be carried out. She also stated that the apprehended suspect had gone to a witch doctor where he had made a confession about this killing. My worry is that how did this young girl find herself with a 32-year-old man? I mean, the legal age for a relationship, yes, can be 16, but how did he lure her as far as Salama Park? Was she pregnant? So many questions. I will update you once the investigation is completed on my YouTube channel. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button and follow me on all social media platforms. It's simply at Lily Motans.